This is always the unofficial start to the season for us. A week from tomorrow, we start training camp. I couldn't be more excited about this team. And I think one thing that's very unique about this team is this is a team that has 33 seniors. We got 7 in the back right there, and guys that we recruited, brought into the program, helped them develop, been through some ups and downs, some growing pains, some adversity, some championships, and different things. But I couldn't be more proud of this group of men for their maturity, their discipline, their focus, the way they do things, how they set the standards, how they set the expectations for our program. And I think they've done nothing but give me great hope going into the 2024 season with the way they've done things. A couple things about us. Since January to now, our players have put a lot of work in, a lot of time, a lot of discipline, and done things that we've asked them to do. And to our coaching staff, I talk to our coaches all the time. It's about us. It's about putting them in position to be successful because we certainly have the talent to do it. Now we have to go out there and stay committed to the daily process of what it takes to be a champion. And I think these guys, what they've shown me gives me great hope. A couple things we talk about, some things we talk about within our program. We have a model, it's SOAR this year. We talk about standards. What are the standards we're going to set it as a team? How are we going to attack it? We talk about opportunities. I mean, we got a great schedule this year filled with great opportunities to go out there and play our best football. Then we talk about accountability. Number one, we have to be accountable to one another. We have to be accountable to the program, coaches and players all together. And then we talk about results. At the end of the day, this is all about the results of trying to win football games. And I think we built it the right way with the right DNA of guys in our program. Just talking about our offense, obviously I know a lot of people want to ask me about the quarterback position. One thing I can tell you is I think we have 3 guys that can lead this team to victory. Now it's about, finding the one guy that's going to rise to the occasion each and every single week. One thing we're going to do a little bit different in training camp is we're going to tailor, make the offense to each specific player at the quarterback position. So each guy is going to have their own little nuance to the offense. I think that's going to give us a chance to truly evaluate what guy gives us the best chance to win games. Then you look at it from an offensive standpoint. Up front, we got 110 starts returning up front. And so if you look at it across 5 guys, that's an average of 22 starts per man. I think, we built our program inside out. It starts with the guys up front on the offensive line. Logan Sherness is here today, but, we got a lot of guys with a lot of experience that's going to take a lot of pressure off the quarterback position. Then the tight end position, we got 44 starts at that position. Grayson Barnes is representing that group today. But we feel like that's a dynamic group, an extension of the offensive line in some aspects, but also an extension of the wide receiver position. At the wide receiver position, we bring back 32 starts. Obviously, everybody knows Trayvon Rudolph, but I feel like we have some young guys that have really matured and developed in our program. That's going to be a nice resource for the quarterbacks at their disposal. And at running back, we got 20 starts returning. And obviously, I know a lot of people know about Ontario Brown. He's a great player, has really developed in our program, but also his group of running backs come back. We have a tremendous stable of guys that can make plays in the running game and the passing game, as well as protecting the quarterback. And then defensively, obviously we had a top 25 defense last year. I feel like we can, raise our level of play as a group. On the D-line, we got 78 starts returning, led by a guy that's in the back, Devontae O'Malley, a guy like Ray Thomas, a lot of experience up front. And the great thing we do with our defense is we rotate a lot of guys. A lot of guys get different experience, game experience, where when they put in a situation, it's not too big for them. At the linebacker position, we returned 34 starts. Jaden Dolphin is representing that group. Added a couple guys in the transfer portal, and really feel like the middle of our defense at the linebacker position is going to be a bigger strength than what it was in the past. And then on the back end, we got 83 starts returning. You see Javon Bird is here, Nate Vicasu is here, two guys that are veterans, that are leaders, that are great communicators. But also we got a lot of young guys with a lot of experience, a guy like Amarion Knighton, Jacob Finley, Shad Dabney, Cyrus McGarrell, a bunch of guys that's played a lot of football that's going to allow us to, number one, be able to rotate guys on defense, but also play to a level that hopefully we will not be matched for 4 quarters. So, for us, as in any season, it's about how you handle adversity. I mean, last year we dealt with some adversity with losing 4 games in a row, but I love the response of our football team. Obviously, I don't want to lose 4 games in a row this year, but we have to make sure we have that same mentality week in and week out to make sure our back is against the wall every week, and that starts against Western Illinois. Staying healthy is another thing. I think we transitioned. Obviously, in 21 we won a championship. Really wanted to fight complacency and maybe push them a little bit too hard. But I think we found a happy balance of keeping guys mentally and physically fresh. I've been proud of the job that Junie and his staff has done with the guys. We're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger, and we're fresh. And I think when you have a fresh team, mentally and physically, that gives you a chance to be able to sustain over the course of a season. Offensively, obviously, everybody knows about the running game, but, we want to fight for balance. And I think we want to make it uncomfortable for defenses. Whether if they load the box, we got to be able to take shots down the field. And if it's a light box, we have to be able to run it. So, 50-50 is maybe not ideal, but obviously we want to be balanced in a way that we can attack people in all facets. On defense, we want to attack. We want to get people off schedule. And then obviously with our secondary and what they can do on the back end of the defense, try to create turnovers where we can separate from people. And then obviously special teams is a big part of how we build things. When you look at games, at the MAC Media Day, they talked about 41% of MAC games comes down to one possession. And the way you win one possession games is obviously to be excellent on special teams. And to have Tom Foley back and Cannon Wardall and Isaac back, all of our specialists are back this season, allows us to build the type of special teams we want. And then the athletes that we're going to be able to put on the field from a special team standpoint gives me great hope that those guys can change games by the way they play. So, for us, everything starts, up front. It starts in the weight room, but also I want to talk about, with 33 seniors, obviously you want to have a plan of moving forward as a program. And one thing we're fighting for is consistency. And I couldn't be more proud with the freshman class that we were able to bring in this year. A group that, to me, top to bottom, has been outstanding as far as work capacity, outstanding as far as focus, and mental fortitude, and all those things that it takes to become a good player. Now, we'll see next week how well they play, but I'm excited about our freshman class and knowing that they have a great group to learn from our seniors, and they can carry that tradition on. So, to me, I think, obviously I've seen a lot of football here in my 6 years, but I don't know if it's been a time I've been more excited to watch a group go out there and compete, and we're going to go out there and give it our best. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Finished last year with 3 straight wins, including a bowl win, Thomas. I know it's a different team, but as you talk about as many people coming back, can you take things from last season, confidence, momentum into 2024?
Yeah, no, I think the way we ended the year, overcoming some things early in the year, obviously we struggled a little bit early offensively. We were able to right that ship. But these guys are beaming with confidence. I think they understand how good they can be. I think they understand what it takes to get where we want to go, and they've checked off every box along the process. So we're going to stay process oriented throughout training camp, throughout the season. We're not going to look ahead. We're going to take it for what's right in front of us. I know a lot of people want to talk about Notre Dame, and obviously that's a great opportunity, but we got a game before that, and I think the more we can stay focused on the task at hand, the better our chance for success will be.
You don't have a quarterback going into the season, but in your thoughts, is it going to come down to you, Toledo, and Miami contending for the conference championship?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer, right? There's a lot of factors that go into it, but what we're going to focus on are the things that we can do to control our own destiny. And I think we play all those teams, which is a great opportunity for us when the time comes. But we're going to take it one step at a time and be able to get ourselves in position to make sure we're playing our best football week in and week out.
Can you just touch on what each of your quarterbacks brings to the table and how the offense will differ from signal caller to signal caller?
Yeah, first of all, I think I'm extremely confident with all three of those guys. I think our quarterback play will be improved this season. I truly believe that, and that's not a knock against anybody, but I think these guys are really excelling. I think they have a lot of playmakers around them that can make plays. They just got to be a great facilitator. And Ethan, obviously, he brings the most experience back. Has the best understanding of our offense. Has really added a nice deep ball into his arsenal. We hit more deep shots in spring ball than we've hit in my time here, and I think those are the type of things that we have to be able to complete if people want to try to stack the box. Obviously, Jalen is a tremendous athlete. You're talking about a guy that's 6'5", 240 pounds, can throw it. He can outthrow every receiver we have in the program. He can run. He's tough. It's just about him catching up from a football standpoint and making sure he can execute our offense. But, we're going to tailor it to him and his abilities to be a dual threat type guy and then see what he can handle. But at the end of the day, you're going against a top 25 defense. So we will have a great understanding of what guy gives us the best chance. And Josh Holtz is a young guy that, he's kind of a compliment to both guys. He gives you some versatility as far as a runner, but also some touch as far as a passer. So I think he's an interesting guy that he'll have a chance at some point in his career. But he's going we're going to give him every opportunity to compete this fall camp.
Coach, you talk about the amount of experience you have on this roster, especially with the 33 seniors. Now that you've seen this team do a spring camp, have you identified any of those players who can really step up to fill in those captain's roles that were left vacated by people that left?
Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent question. And one thing we're going to do this year is we're going to have weekly captains. I think over the course of a season, different people step up at different times, and I don't want to minimize anybody's voice, so we're not going to name captains at the beginning of the year. We're going to let that materialize throughout the season, because I think sometimes you name a captain at the beginning of the year, then all of a sudden maybe a guy gets beat out or he's not playing as good as he wants to play, and then his voice is minimized. So we don't want to minimize anybody's voice. We want everybody to be competing week in and week out, and you'll be surprised at what guys step up through some adverse situations. Last year we had a guy like Tyler Jackson step up. Wasn't a starter initially, but then wound up having a strong voice the second half of the season. And I don't want those things to be silenced.
Coach, you also mentioned, the amount of people from the transfer portal that you brought in specifically at that linebacker position. And you also talked about the freshman class. Were there any of the new guys on the team that kind of stood out in your eyes heading into this?
Yeah, Christian Furman was with us. I'm only going to speak about the guys that's been here that we've seen practice. The freshman, you never know, right? A guy may hurt his toe the first day and he's out for 3 weeks. But Christian Furman is definitely a guy that has come in and helped solidify the linebacker position for us down the middle. The tight end, Jake, this guy we recruited him out of high school and really feel good about him in high school, and then Nebraska offered him at the last minute. But he gives us a guy, an athletic Y at the point of attack that can do a lot of different things. The mid-year guys, we had a young freshman come in, corner, Deshaun Gibson. But I think we got some guys that, to me, that's ready to take the next step as far as their development. A freshman like Santana Banner is the safety that we have in our program that really has made an offseason jump, so I'm anxious to watch him compete. Amarion Knight at corner, Jacob Finley at corner. Those are younger guys that, been in the program, know what it takes, but guys that I think are making a step to be upper echelon at their position.
Coach, and then you mentioned the top, you having top 25 defense last year. How important is it to maintain some of those guys like Javon Bird, Nate Bell, Carson Jones?
Yeah, no, it was big. In December, a lot of guys was texting me. When you get a text from a player in December, that's never a good feeling as a head coach. But I'm happy these guys stayed. They had opportunities to do different things. They believe in our program, believe in how we do things and what we're building, and I want them to play their best football as seniors. So, Javon Bird is a big part of that. Nate is a big part of that. Two excellent leaders on the back end of our defense that I feel like we got a bunch of guys back there that can make a bunch of plays. So anxious as a team, if we can get the lead and force people to throw, I think they're going to have their hands full.
You talked a lot last week in Canton about this team being a players program. So does that kind of blend itself to having as many seniors as you have? As you have guys that you've recruited that wanted to be here for 4 years and have bought into your coaching style and what you expect of them?
Yeah, no, they almost too stern, in my opinion. They call me and text me. I don't, this guy's not doing what he need to be doing. I say, listen, remember when you was a freshman and maybe you wanted to quit or maybe things wasn't going your way, you have to have grace. But I've been very pleased. Like I said, when I go home at night, I know that the leadership of our team is handled, the locker room is handled, the culture of our team is handled. And that's an attribute to our players, what they've been able to learn from us as coaches, and then at least giving them some leeway, right? It's like when your kids get older, right? You don't have the same restrictions that you had when they were younger, and we've allowed them to be men, to grow up as men, to have a voice, and I respect their voice.
Thomas, no one's going to be surprised about Ontario Brown and how he plays first team All MAC. Two-part question. How good could Ontario Brown be this year? And does he remind you every day that he did pass you in the career rushing yards?
Did he pass me? No, he hasn't reminded me of that. And he's a stat guy, so that's news to me. How good can he be? He can be as good as he wants to be, and I truly mean that. And he understands that. We've grown together. We've had our moments, but. I'm proud of him and how he's worked and how he's developed himself as a man first and then as a player second. So, I'm not taking very many backs above him in the country, and I mean that sincerely and not because he's here.
When you talk about the strides the guys make in the weight room and how well they're doing that way, is that a sense of how that can lead into a style of play for you guys? Obviously, you want to run the ball and you talk a lot about how big your guys are on both sides of the line. Is that a sense of where your physicality can succeed in an era where teams are just spreading everybody out from number to number?
Yeah, I love the physicality of our team, but also I love the speed. We test these guys, and these guys have gotten faster as a football team. So not only are we big and physical, we got guys that can run. And, I think this is a physical game. It's a test of wills. And, I love the way we're built, with the offensive line and defensive line. And then our skill guys are going to be, everything we want them to be. So, for us, it's about playing a physical brand. When the weather changes, obviously the elements become a factor in the game. You have to win the line of scrimmage. And if we can win the line of scrimmage, great things will happen.
Any more questions for Coach Hammock? Yeah.
So, Coach, obviously the big thing that's been going around college football over the past week has been the release of the new NCAA 25 game. You guys are ranked 73 overall in there. How do you feel the ranking is in your eyes?
Yeah, I think the rankings are a little bit unjust, in my opinion. I think our offense was ranked higher than our defense, which, based on what, I have no idea. We had a strong defense. Now, I think our offense will be improved this season. So, it's a subjective rankings, but like anything, right? You win more games, your rankings go up. And so, I look forward to being able to see the rankings in 2026.
Who plays NIU at your house?
Yeah, no. My son, it was NIU versus NIU. And I will say this: Ontario Brown is a lot better in the game. No, that's a joke. No, we got some really good players on the game, and it's fun. You know, I'm not very good, but he beats me pretty good. But I've been pleased with what I've seen on the game, and hope our players play it all the time as well. So they know their rankings. Those rankings have nothing to do with who you are as a true player in real life, just so we all understand that.